Hello, everyone. This is the Dark Lord of Memes podcast, and I am coming to you live. Well, not live, but live to me in the moment right now, and hopefully to you when you listen to this. But it is me, Dark Lord Ines. If you are listening to this, it's probably because you are a fan of my meme page, and let me just say thank you very much for taking time out of your day to come and listen to me ramble on and just give my opinion on things that I find interesting, and maybe you think they're interesting too. So, by the way, if you're listening to this and you're not from my meme page, you should definitely check it out. It's lit over there. I got some fire ass memes, just like they are like top tier. Like trust me, once you see these memes, you're gonna be like, oh, those are lit. So trust me, I'm the meme I'm the meme dealer. But anyways, let's get back to the point. If you're listening to this, I am going to go back and to the edits, and I'm going to add 24 seconds of just dead air in the beginning of this, because I want to give tribute and pay homage to the late and great Kobe Bryant, who just honestly passed away in such a tragedy, like just a pure tragedy. Like when I heard the news of, the helicopter crash, and then I found out it wasn't just him, but it was also him and his daughter, who was also a basketball player. It's just like, man, you hate to see that. You really do. It really did hit me. I thought it was fake at first. So I do want to pay tribute to Kobe Bryant, because for me personally, when you talk about the NBA, you talk about basketball, and you talk about, especially professional basketball, one name that always comes up as being the greatest is Michael Jordan. And, I understand that. I mean, 6 for 6 in the finals is great and all, but for me growing up in my era, like, the late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s is like were my coming of age years, where I was like, forming my likes and dislikes and my opinions on the world, was during this time. And during that time, like, basketball was a big part of that. I've always been into sports, and basketball is like to me, the best sport there. I mean, football's great too. It's probably right behind football for me, but I love me some basketball. But just to find out that, like, the guy he was basically, what I was saying is, like, Kobe was Jordan to me. How a lot of people view Michael from, like, the past generation. I think my generation of, if you want to call them millennials or Gen Z, whatever you classify yourself as personally. I classify myself more as Gen Z than millennial, but that's neither here nor there. But during my coming of age years, Kobe was Jordan to me, man. Like, number 24, like number 8 when he had the fro, when he first came in, and then just like seeing his, literally you're seeing a man being made right in front of your eyes. Like, we saw him grow up, and we saw him from 18 years old to 41 years old, like, saw everything, and it was just gone in an instant. And I thought it was fake, and it like really hit me, like, not as hard as what we're going to talk about later. I'm not going to give it away right now, but we're going to talk about something later that I experienced, and it really did hit me hard. But it was damn near close, and I just want to pay tribute and pay homage to the Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant, because, I mean, yes, he has a I can't bring it up without hinting out he did have like a sketchy past, and there were situations where he was not seen as in the prior light. He's been dragged by past coaches and teammates, and we all know that. But I'm not trying to bring that up. I'm just acknowledging that it is there, but I don't want to like bring it up in depth right now. But it's out there, and if you know, you know. If you don't, you can look it up if you want to. But for me, I think I hate to say it because it might come off the wrong way, but I think the Mamba did give off more good than he ever did bad. Overall, like an overall impact on the world, I would like to think he left a really positive mark overall. That, it left a very big impression on me. It's left a very big impression on the rest of the world, and everyone's grieving right now, and everyone's kind of just dealing with it. And it's funny. Before I get into this story, I'm going to tell a personal anecdote here because I just think it'd be fun to tell. But I'd like to introduce my co-host. So my moniker for the show is going to be Dark Lord Ines because that's the tag I use on Facebook. If you want to go check out my meme page, you can type that in and it'll pop up, Dark Lord Ines. But I'd like to introduce my co-host, who you could say in real life is the albedo to my Dark Lord Ines character. If you're not familiar with those characters, it's from an anime called Overlord, which I highly recommend if you haven't seen it. But I know some people that listen to this will probably have seen it because my page kind of attracts that type of person. Hopefully. But if you haven't watched it, definitely watch it if you want to. It's anime, heads up, but I love anime. Everyone should love anime. If everyone loved anime, the world would be a better place. But that's neither here nor there. Let me introduce my great co-host, the albedo to my Dark Lord Ines.
Hi. I do think, anime would be a pretty good common ground for people simply because of the fact that there's always one out there for everyone to watch.
Yeah, exactly. I think, there's the great classics out there just like, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, there's great ones that just everyone universally accepts these as just great works of art.
Yeah, especially the top 4: Bleach, Dragon Ball, Naruto, and I forgot that.
What do you say?
One.
Naruto.
One Piece.
One Piece.
Yeah.
I always forget about. I've never.
I don't
watched
care.
It.
I don't like One Piece. So
yeah,
of course
People love One Piece, not me.
Yeah, not in this house.
Yeah, we don't watch One Piece in this house. I'm sorry. It is what it is. There's too many episodes. No one has the time. I'm not going to dedicate it. There's too much good stuff out there.
Yeah, and I think those are universal, the top ones that everyone's seen, but everybody, I think out of all of those have heard about Dragon Ball.
And maybe it's just going to be one of those great animes that I just never watch, and I'm fine with that.
I'm perfectly content with my life without it.
If you just give me some My Hero Academia, give me some. Right now, I'm really into Death Note. She does not like Death Note. And that kind of makes me upset, but we won't get into it. But
I've already watched it when I was
I know,
younger,
and you don't like it. I know.
I don't know. Maybe I have to rewatch it with a new set of eyes now that I'm older.
Maybe.
See if I like it.
You gotta think, it was made in 2006. So, when did you watch it? 2000. It was made in 2006,
2013, I think.
Yeah, so it's 2020 now, so.
Yeah.
It probably hits different now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does, trust me. It's good. It's really good. Oh, I'm loving it. But, I can't wait to finish it. Oh my god, we're being so weeby. It's whatever. I don't care.
I
love anime. But before, we're going to get into anime. We're going to have a discussion about it here in a minute. But back to what I was saying about the Kobe thing. Do you want to, is there anything you want to, say?
I mean, yeah, Kobe did have a serious past and everything, but, like, you bring up Kobe's name and, like, everyone's gonna know who Kobe is. You can mention
Around
it.
the world.
Yeah, you can mention it. People would know him from, like, commercials or, like, cartoons and, like, any type of visual media. He was there, you know?
Very true.
So everybody just knows this as, like, a good, upstanding citizen. Like, we all looked up to him when we were growing up in one way or another. Like, we all had him in our lives. And
how many times have you taken a piece of paper and yelled, Kobe?
Exactly.
Like, that was the thing.
In gym class and everything, when we were, like, doing basketball and stuff in gym class and, like, elementary.
It was literally, like, it was so bad. It was, so bad, like, it became a thing.
I ended up, like, I had a basketball and I had my back towards the hoop. I made it into the basket, throwing it backwards, and everyone was just screaming, Kobe. Yes,
dude, that's Kobe. Like, dude, like, I promise you, there was a time, like, in gym class, I know this is crazy, like, it's gonna sound crazy, but literally, in gym class, all the boys would literally take the basketball, and every shot, everyone yelled Kobe. Didn't matter if it went in or not, it was just Kobe. Like, people just said it, like, everyone, I was just like, I guess this is, like, if you shoot the ball and don't say Kobe, it's like,
you're scum of the earth.
Like, you didn't believe in yourself? Like, you didn't think you were Kobe just now? Like, you're shameful.
Exactly. So, like, everybody can, you know, relate to that. And so I feel like...
I wonder how many times I've said Kobe in my life, bruh.
Dude, just this past week, like, 80.
At least. Bro, crazy. But yeah, continue. I'm sorry. We keep going off tangents.
But, like, that's just, you know, Kobe's touched so many people's lives, you know? Mm-hmm. So nobody's really, like, everybody's gonna mourn his death because of the fact that we've formed a relationship with him from such a young age. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone's, you know, impacted by that. And you can still acknowledge that he had a rough, like, past with some shady stuff that he's done, and you can still mourn his death simply because, like, you know that man. Mm-hmm. You've seen that man. So you have some sort of connection to him.
And it's like, in the connection, like, it's so strong. And, like, you feel it, like, and when you see him have, like, the highs, you know, on the court, like, winning a championship, and you see, like, that emotion on his face, and you're just like, you feel like you won it with him, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, like, you're the man, you know?
Like, you can live vicariously through that man.
Yes, and you're, like, experiencing, because, like, literally, like, he won a championship on average once every 4 years. He played for 20 years. He got 5 championships. That's a championship every 4 years. Like, that is crazy good production. Like, to win an NBA Finals championship once every 4 years, guaranteed, like, that's crazy. And, I mean, but that's not how he won them. Like, he won them in a three-peat. He won, like, 3 in a row from, like, 2000 to 2002 with Shaq. And then Shaq left. That was, like, the last three-peat, like, we've ever seen. Like, Golden State almost did it. And then LeBron happened. Love LeBron. Love LeBron so much. Anyways, I'm not gonna fangirl over LeBron right now, but he's the GOAT in my eyes. If something happened to LeBron, bruh. But anyways, I'll take it out. But for Kobe, you know, Kobe was the guy, you know, still. But I just wanted to acknowledge that I felt like it was, you know, it's in the news, like, everyone's talking about it right now. And I just wanted to emphasize, like, it is a great tragedy, and it's gonna, I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get over it, but I just think hopefully by, like, talking about like his goodness and like the legacy he left behind. It's I don't know. I just hope everyone gets over it in their own time. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the anime discussion, which is what I'm very excited about personally. So Albedo, would you like to do yours first, ladies first?
So honestly, like,
and this is anime recommendations. So we're gonna do this. Is gonna be a weekly thing, where we recommend you an anime to watch. For those who are anime disabled, who just don't know how to pick good animes. So yeah, here you go.
So I genuinely think, like, first and foremost, an anime that I think a lot of people should definitely watch and give a chance to is Gurren Lagann. Mm-hmm. It was made in 2007, and it's not a very long one, but it is a very interesting one. So they all start off, like, with... The whole thing starts off with Simone and Kamina in, like, an underground civilization of people.
Right.
And they would dig tunnels to expand. Well, Simone was one of the best diggers. And he found this key, basically. And Kamina, who he calls Bro, told him, like, that he has a drill that can pierce the earth, basically, so he could dig to the surface.
Yeah.
Kamina is, like, obsessed with getting to the surface and finding his dad, because his dad was, like, on the surface and disappeared. So the anime basically starts off with them just going to the surface, finding that there's these creatures roaming around, and, like...
It's like their first time getting to the surface, right?
Yeah.
That would be insane. Like, just think about, like, living underground. Imagine living underground your entire life, and then...
getting to see the surface of the earth
like,
for the first time.
That's a very great concept, I'd like to point out. Like, that's a pretty... Yeah. Once you think about it like that, it's like, wow. Like, okay, like, you're understanding the gravity. And... you know what? I think you know what's great about this? Because I can honestly relate the anime I'm going to recommend. It's literally kind of like that same story, basically, but it's told in a different way. But it's that same feeling of, like, imagine living underground your entire life and then boom.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It
has some pretty simple animation, I'd say, simply because it is early 2000s.
Oh.
But, like,
like it's, like, very, like, simple, I guess, simpler designs or something.
Yeah, it's not, like, 3D and type. It's, like, a lot softer tone. And I really do enjoy the animation and everything, but at night when they show the stars and the moon and stuff, they still do a pretty good job showing that.
Interesting.
Yeah. I love it.
Alright, so...
And it does show them progressing through the years, too, in a short anime.
So give us your rating for it. Like, how good is this? Is this... on a scale of 1 to 10, what is this?
I mean, it's good enough for me to where I've rewatched it like 4 or 5 times.
So there is rewatchability.
Yes, like I've rewatched it. Like I've showed people it, and I was like, "Hey, you have to watch this." And then I still kept watching it even after they left. And I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen, but I don't want it to.
Damn.
But I would genuinely give it like a 9.7.
A 9.7 out of the gate out of 10?
Yeah, just personally in my
9.7.
Yeah. That
is insane. Wow. So you're really behind this anime, right? Like Oh, okay.
Like, I don't want to give it a 10 simply because
nothing's really a 10. I mean, I guess there are some 10s.
It was a really short anime.
Yeah,
Like,
and
they
yeah.
had so many, like, options to do. They had so many windows to do more.
Did it get
with
canceled, or was it just over after a season?
It was just over after a season.
Oh.
But, like, they could have done so
much
more with it.
Mm.
Yeah. Like, it had such a window to just be able to expand upon and have some of that stuff.
And they just thought it was over after, like, there's nothing else more to tell.
No, they just, like, had it all condensed to, like, one season. Like, if they extended it, they could have done so much with it, like. But it is also one of those things that's like, it's perfect the way it is. Why change it?
Yeah, so because sometimes, I mean, there are some that you think are out there, and then once they do expand upon it, they kind of lose what made it so special.
Yeah,
along the way. Yeah,
that genuine feeling that you have for it.
Because maybe when they made it wasn't, they probably weren't at like the greatest studio, maybe, you know what I mean, and it had like a different feel to it. Yeah, but then you get like the machine behind you, and like elements of it change, and it's not the same.
It's no longer like a genuine love for the anime.
Yeah,
they're putting into it. They're just
you can tell it's probably forced, and
money.
Mm-hmm. So maybe it's good that it just has one season, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow, 9.7. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to top it with this one. I mean, the one I'm going to recommend to you is very good. I can give it a 9.5, honestly. So our scores aren't that different. But anyways, the anime I'm going to be recommending to you, if you've probably already seen it. I mean, it's pretty popular. But in case you haven't, I'm going to be recommending Dr. Stone. So, I just really think that this is a great anime because, normally when you think of anime, people automatically start to go to like the Dragon Ball Zs and the, Naruto's. Like, it's always has to be about fighting and there's powers and stuff like that. And this anime is just a real breath of fresh air when it comes to animes for me, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've seen a lot of animes based on fighting and powers and stuff. Like, that's a majority of them are about that, but it's such a good story that you end up loving it anyways. And I've watched a lot of fighting animes, and this one's just like a nice break from it. Like, maybe you're kind of burnt out on finishing, I don't know, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, freaking My Hero. You're caught up on My Hero. Any number of fighting animes. Vinland Saga, that's a really good one. And you just want to kind of break from that. And it tells a really great story with great animation. The animation is what really, like, brings it all together. Because, God, it's a great anime to just visibly look at. And that's what drew me in. I was like, wow, this is like really good artwork. But essentially, Dr. Stone is the story that follows the main protagonist. His name is Senku. And basically, Senku has been obsessed with science from a very young age. It takes place in the near future of 2038. So it's it's kind of like, it's like a decade to almost 2 decades into the future. And out of nowhere, there's just a worldwide catastrophe that turns every human on the planet into stone. Like, it's just like a normal day is happening. I think when it happens, he might be in school. I think he is in school. And next thing you know, there's just this bright flash. It covers the earth. Everyone's turned to stone. And this is for several thousand years. Like, I think 3,000 years at least into the future. And basically, he was counting like that entire time he was, under in stone, and he was counting. And then, so like when he finally like broke out, I'm not going to give away anything, but obviously he does break out of the stone. and it's 3,000 years into the future, and civilization's gone. The world has like completely grown over again. Like, it looks completely different. It's just insane. But obviously there's a protagonist, named Tsukasa. He's revived as well, and he's basically trying to rule over this new stone world without modern technology. And like I said, Senku's obsessed with technology and science, so the two forces collide. Highly recommend it, especially if you're just tired of like the usual superhero / power up anime and looking for something fresh and very educational. It is like a very educational anime. Like, you learn a lot as well. So yeah, I recommend Dr. Stone. I give it a rating of 9.5, and Albedo recommends Gurren Lagann with a 9.7. Like, damn. Like, we're giving you some fire out of the gate. I'm just telling you. Like, don't sleep. Anyways, our next topic, and this one I'm excited. I'm excited we're on this topic. So we're gonna the name of this topic is called Grammys or Scammies. Yes, I said it. Grammys or Scammies. Now, there was some controversy that went down at the Grammys that I just want to, talk about. And I'll start off with this one first, and then I'll save the Billie Eilish thing, because that's kind of the main thing. But here's a brief thing I just wanted to bring up that happened at the Grammys. So, I guess there was some, like, Tyler, the Creator drama about the Grammys, where he kind of, like, blasted the Grammys for... Well, he said basically the word urban he thought was racist, and it's kind of like the politically correct way of saying the N-word. Basically is like what he said, and then he says, like, you'll never see a guy looking like him being nominated for just album of the year, because the Grammy that he won, and congratulations on the Grammy, by the way, Tyler. Like, I love your music, by the way. Flower Boy was better than Igor in my opinion, but to each their own. But Igor, it had some good songs on there. I just wasn't, I didn't think it was like his best stuff. That's just my opinion. So he wins the Grammy for Best Rap Album, which is great. I mean, Best Rap Album is still a pretty big accomplishment, I'd say. It wasn't really a rap album in my opinion. Like, it didn't sound like a rap album. There's a lot of, like, singing, a lot of melodic tones used. And I think he's kind of onto something. Albedo, what is your take? Do you think that the Grammys are kind of racist? And, I mean, does Tyler, the Creator, have any validity in what he said? Like, I think there's some truth in what he's saying.
I do think there's truth in what he's saying, and I do think, like, a lot of the award shows that we have nowadays, they do favor a lot of, like, whiter artists when it comes to the stuff that they're celebrating.
Very true.
Or shows or movies that, like, contain, well, this is the Grammys, music that, like, pertains to culturally appropriating, like, black culture sung by white people.
Ariana Grande?
Yes. Like, I love Ariana Grande, but even I can acknowledge
everyone loves Ariana Grande. That's the thing.
Her skin is kind of suspicious.
It's sketchy. It's at least sketchy.
Yeah.
Okay, like, that's the bare minimum, but there's some cultural appropriation going on here.
Yeah, and I feel like, the Grammys...
And it's so, like, blatant. I feel like it's kind of, like, so blatant, but...
And I feel like, the Grammys and, other award shows do favor white people appropriating black culture.
Exactly. Like, they want... the black culture, but they want white people to portray culture, not black people.
Yeah, like Post Malone, like, dude, I love Post Malone.
Like, I love Post Malone too. Like, but But he's
braided hair and the
dreads and
stuff like that when he just first was coming up, and like White Everson and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to admit, like, that is kind of suspicious.
Damn. Like, is that what they're is that what's actually happening
Have
here?
you seen, like, it's happened with a couple of artists where they, like, come up using black culture, and then after they're famous, that's when they start to, like, branch off as a, white artist.
You're right.
And I feel like Post Malone might not have done that. I feel like he's someone that just makes fun of the way things are done. But, like,
the thing is, like, Post Malone came up off of that, but now he's starting to branch off into what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you listen to, like, his Hollywood's Bleeding album, like, it's not, like, a rap album.
Yeah, I feel like he did what he had to come up and get famous. And then now that he's famous, he can finally get recognition for the stuff that he
wants to do.
Yeah, but at the same time, you still have to understand, like, he did use another culture as a come up.
He did. And that's not okay. I mean, that's the question at the end of the day, like, is it okay?
And I think another one is, like, is it legitimately supposed to be like that? Like, is he legitimately doing it, or did he do it, like, in an ironic sense, trying to show that?
I mean, I'd love to know, but...
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to actually ask him. And don't think he'll give me the time of day, so...
Yeah. But
asshole. I love Post Malone. He has great music.
I do too. I was like really obsessed with Post Malone. Like, I had my keyboard.
I was too, dude. White Iverson was a hit.
Dude, Candy Paint was like my favorite one.
Fire.
I him out to like constantly. He was my phone background, my desktop background, my
dude. Psycho. Like, he has so many bangers, bro. So many bangers.
Yes.
Love Post. I could talk about Post Malone forever, but. So that was like that was a great conversation, and Tyler Creator sparked that whole thing. So thank you for that. So here's like the bigger thing that happens at the Grammys, right? So 18-year-old Billie Eilish swept the big 4 song categories at this year's Grammys. She won album, record, Song of the Year, plus Best New Artist. The last person to do that was Christopher Cross 39 years ago. I don't even know who Christopher Cross is. So does this matter? Like, okay, she won the big 4, right? She won Album of the Year, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best New Artist. And now, like, I don't know. Am I out of the loop? Do people know do you know who Christopher Cross is? Albedo? Like, have you heard of that name?
No, I literally have not heard of that.
Okay, so I'm doing this live right now. I'm just gonna look up who Christopher Cross is, and, like, what he made. And if he's important or not. Oh my god. What?
What?
Oh my... this is not who I was expecting to be. No.
Let me see.
No, this can't be who Christopher Cross is.
Let me see.
That's Christopher Cross. What? And he did that.
Whoa.
Wow. Is this bad news for Billie Eilish?
Dad bod for days.
Dude, like, okay, so, like, what? Is he popular?
I've never heard that name.
So he's 68 years old now, lives in San Antonio, Texas. I'm just confused here. Is he a big deal? Maybe I should look up his net worth? Maybe that'll give me a good idea. Okay. $10 million? I mean, that's good, but not what I expect for what he did. I never heard of him, and then I heard he did this 39 years ago. When was that 39 years ago? Like, I don't even know.
I have no clue.
Oh, 79, I think. 1979. Well, the question becomes... So I just thought that was funny because, like, I mean, everyone's making it a big deal, but the last person who did it, like, I don't even... Is he relevant? Like...
Alright, Rice Gum, you're irrelevant.
So, like, does this mean that Billie Eilish is gonna eventually become irrelevant like Christopher Cross? Like, are we putting too much emphasis on the Grammys? And also, was she deserving? That's the big question. Albedo, I want to get your take on this first before I give mine, so you can, like, defend. Okay? So go ahead.
So, I genuinely do feel like Billie Eilish, like, I don't think she's gonna fade away into irrelevancy like that dude.
Like Christopher Cross.
Yeah, simply because...
I'll know him now.
Simply because of the fact that, like, she got famous because people really like her. Mm-hmm. Like, I think she genuinely has a nice voice and everything.
Right.
And regardless of what kind of music she does, the point still remains that she has a beautiful voice. Like, the music that she makes doesn't have to be your style for you to know that, like, she's got a nice voice.
Okay. Fair point.
You know, I think a lot of the stuff that she does is interesting, to say the least, with, like, her clothing choice and everything, her not wanting people to sexualize her body simply because of the fact that she's underage and she wants to be famous.
Yeah, I honestly think I admire that.
Like, I do admire that. Like, I think that's, you know...
It's admirable.
That's a really good thing to do, and, you know, that's protecting yourself from a lot of...
Because if she didn't, they would sexualize her in a second.
Yeah, and they still do, even to this day, even after she's, like, asked for respect from that. But a lot of the clothing that she wears is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Overall, I do dig her
I like the
style.
tracksuits that she has sometimes. Yeah,
she's definitely... I would say a good word to describe her is fashion forward.
Yeah.
I think she's like a little bit ahead of us. She has a good eye for fashion, I'd say.
As for the was she, like, deserving of all those Grammys?
Yeah.
I think...
Do you want me to pull up, like... I can do that while you're talking, actually. Go ahead.
I feel like she's just someone that, you know, a lot of this generation's going to be influenced by simply because she is from this generation, you know? Mm-hmm. She's someone that is roughly close to the age range that she sings for. And, you know, that's definitely going to influence, like... It's definitely going to influence, like, how many views you get and how many people are going to buy your stuff and, like... Mm-hmm. Who's all gonna get your stuff. So I genuinely do think, like, I think, you know, she was pretty, like, deserving of some of them, but, like, after a while, it's like, why are you allowing someone the chance to completely sweep an entire, like, category? Why are you allowing someone to sweep so many categories instead of, like, giving shots to other artists and everything?
Right.
But at the same time, she genuinely did all of that on her own. Like, you have to give props to her, because it's not like she stuffed the ballots. It's not like she paid them off and was like, hey, like...
Yeah, I mean, this is what they thought. Like,
yeah, this is what the people wanted.
Yeah.
And then now that the people got what they wanted, they're mad.
That's basically what it is. But I think when it comes to describing and detailing if she was deserving or not, it all comes down to, like, personal opinion. Because, like, what we identify as good music is kind of, you know, everyone has their own taste. Not everyone's gonna have the same taste. But I think we can all agree on, like, some songs that, like, the songs that everyone relates to, you know, and that, you know, they're good. So for Record of the Year, she beat out Bon Iver's Hey Ma, Seven Rings by Ariana Grande, Hard Place by Her, Talk by Khalid, Old Town Road by Lil Nas X featuring Billy Ray Cyrus, Truth Hurts by Lizzo, Sunflower by Post Malone and Sway Lee. So, like, out of these songs, for me, I personally would have liked to see Sunflower win this category. Old Town Road can go die in a hole and never see the light of day again. Seven Rings was fire as well. Don't really fuck with Khaled, sorry. Bon Iver, I listened to some of his stuff, I'm not really familiar with him. And I've never heard this song Truth Hurts by Lizzo. I refuse to listen to her. I just don't want to. And so she won Album of the Year as well. She beat out Bon Iver again. Okay. Lana Del Rey, Norman effing Rockwell. She beat out Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. I Used to Know Her by her. 7 by Lil Nas X. Cause I Love You Deluxe by Lizzo. And Father of the Bride by Vampire Weekend. Like, I mean, she's beating out some, like, very big and relevant people here, you know?
Yeah, so, a lot of very, like, influential people. And I was scrolling through Facebook.
She's beating Taylor Swift, dude. Like, you're beating Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga and Lana Del Rey all in the same, like, category. Like, it's insane.
Dude, I was scrolling through Facebook, and I'm, like, more on the alternative side of Facebook with, like, fashion and piercings and all that. So a lot of the people that I'm, like, friends with on Facebook are a lot of alternative people, like alternative pop, rock, all that.
Yeah.
So when they found out that Lana Del Rey lost to Billie, dude, my Facebook, every time I was scrolling, it was just some chick with dyed hair and piercings, like, crying about Lana Del Rey getting beat and how she
really
deserved it. Yeah. Like, alternative chicks love Lana Del Rey.
Are you serious? I did not know this. See, I don't really... I listen to some Lana Del Rey songs. Like, doesn't she have the song with Juice WRLD?
I have no clue. I don't listen to her.
I thought she might have made one with him. Or unless I'm for... Maybe, no, it actually wasn't her. It was Ellie Goulding for Hate Me. And I thought it was her. But yeah, I don't really listen to a lot of Lana Del Rey.
Me neither.
I thought she was always bland.
Yeah.
Kind of like there's nothing special. It's
kind of
just
like a saltine cracker.
Yeah, just like you eat it and you don't really feel nothing. It's just like, did I really eat something? Or I guess I did.
I mean, it'll last until lunchtime.
I just gotta say, I'm loving this right now. Like, this episode, like, I'm loving it. So now we're going to get into the what this episode is about, and we are at 44 minutes.
Damn.
So this is going to be...
Oh, shoot. Should I not curse?
I'm it's fine. I think I've cursed a lot already, probably. I don't know. I think I've said damn.
I'm sorry, page viewers.
Yeah, this is a mature podcast, so get over yourself. Anyways, so the last thing is... Okay, so this topic is very emotional to me. I hearken back to this when I was talking about Kobe Bryant earlier, where I said we're going to talk about something later that I got really emotional about this year. And it was the passing of Jared Higgins, also known as Juice WRLD. And he passed away in also a very tragic fashion. Just pure tragedy. And it was one of those things also too where Albedo told me, I didn't even know, she told me, I was actually, the day it happened, I can remember the day.
You were playing Gears?
I was playing, no, actually I was playing Call of Duty.
Were you?
Yeah, I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I think, with
Chris.
with my boys. Yeah, like Nathan, Chris, Nathan's cousin. Can't remember his name.
Yeah, and I like just got out of the shower and opened up Facebook, and I just walked in a towel, and I was like, "Babe, have you seen this?"
Yeah, and it literally, like, I brushed it off like immediately.
You were just like,
I was like,
they're just,
like,
it's just
what did I
a
say?
fake article.
Yeah,
like, it's just
exactly.
a fake article. Do you even know if it's true? So then I ended up looking it up, and I was like, dude, TMC everywhere is like posting this story.
Yeah, and I called you. I kind of got like aggressive a little bit because I was like,
so defensive
I was like,
about it.
I was like, no, he didn't. Like, literally, go look it up. Like, I was like, no, he didn't. And then when it turned out to be true, oh man.
And then when you found out the reason,
and then the story behind it. So let me just get into that. So honestly, I do also want to pay tribute to 999 and the 999 gang out there. And rest in peace, Juice WRLD. Long live Juice WRLD. And I am going to miss him. I really am. He was my guy. That was my guy. That's all I listen to now. I don't listen to much else right now. I think I'm still in grieving, low key, because a lot of Albedo and I's best memories are related to Juice WRLD. They're intertwined.
Juice WRLD and Ski Mask, to be honest. Like, if anything happens to Ski Mask,
oh well, yeah,
I'm gonna cry.
It's gonna be, I don't know what we'll have left.
We'll have Trippy.
I mean, yeah, we'll have people, but it's just like I don't want to lose a rapper a year. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, like
I want them to stay around for a long time.
Like Juice WRLD and Ski Mask, we saw their concert in Detroit. Like my first time out of state.
Yeah, it was a great night. We went to Detroit, Michigan, and stayed the night. Got a nice hotel and went to go see Ski Mask and Juice WRLD on the Death Race for Love tour.
Shout out to
Detroit. Detroit's lovely.
Shout out to the dude at the gas station who gave me a free Eevee stuffed animal.
Oh yeah, that was sweet.
He was probably flirting with me, but like
he wanted Albedo.
But like I got a free Eevee stuffed animal that fit inside my little tin Pokeball. So
right, get swag. Ooh, she hit it. Ooh.
But if anything happens to Ski Mask, it's over, babe. I'm crying and I'm not leaving the bed for a week.
Yeah, I understand. And so, Juice WRLD died at the age of 21 years old, 5 days after his birthday. And the story behind his death was that essentially the feds were on his tail. They were on his trail, and they got a tip from the pilot of his private jet that he was renting. He flies private, and he was renting a private jet, and the pilot tipped off the feds that they brought firearms onto the plane, which I guess you're not supposed to do that on a private flight or private jet. I thought like people might get away with it because it's private, but like still you can't bring a firearm. And he like clearly had it on his waist, so I guess you are supposed to tip that off like that. He did his job. You definitely should acknowledge if someone brings on a firearm to your flight, regardless of who it is. Yeah, regardless of status or who it is. And so Juice got word of this, and that the feds would be there upon his landing. So he was flying to Chicago, I believe, because I think he was having like, I don't know the full story, but I think he was going there for like a birthday party or something, or I'm not sure, like a late birthday party, some sort of event. But he was going back home to Chicago, and on the flight, he has all these illegal substances and drugs and pills you're not supposed to have. And so he basically tries to, instead of, like, I guess in order to hide them, the story is he decides to ingest all of them. He throws them in his mouth, swallows, he takes them all. Very dangerous. Like, I'm not sure if he that's the thing that was kind of weird to me. Like, that seems so dangerous. Like, why would he, unless he was very like freaked and spooked, what would happen when he was landing? Because I mean, if the feds are waiting for you when you're flying into your hometown of Chicago, and they search your private jet and they see what you got on there, you're probably going to go away for a while. And I think he would have definitely, because they rented the private jet in his name, under his name, so he was responsible for everything that occurred on the flight. He's held responsible. So basically, upon landing into the Chicago airport, Juice begins to convulse and starts having a seizure. The Narcan was administered before he was transported to the hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. And they eventually found 41 bags of sealed weed, which equated to 70 pounds, 6 bottles of prescription codeine syrup, 2 9mm pistols, a .40 caliber pistol, high-capacity ammunition magazines, and metal-piercing bullets.
Damn. Metal-piercing bullets.
Metal-piercing bullets, like FMG or FMJ bullets, like Full Metal Jacket, like high-capacity, like just crazy stuff. And so my question is, like, first, why did he need all this stuff in the first place? Like, why are you needing to have like all these weapons and stuff? It's just like someone after you, or like, I don't know, like, I guess for protection and bodyguard and securities and stuff. But like,
so if he had all that stuff on his plane, and you're questioning his sanity as to why he's buying those things, I think that kind of does go hand in hand as to why he decided to try to swallow all those pills.
Yeah, I mean,
he's probably not the most stable person. He hints at it like all the time in all his music.
Yeah, he does. I was gonna get into that. Like, it's been so weird, like, grieving him, because if I'm listening to all his past songs, and I'm listening to a lot of his past unreleased songs that you have to find on like Spotify or SoundCloud. That's not released to like the general public, that you have to look for. And I'm just listening to all these old songs, and he's predicting his death like in every song. Like, he's talking about like
laced perks.
Yeah, like drugs, like him, like his drug dependency, basically. Like, he needs drugs to function. If he doesn't have his Percocets, he's upset. Like, it was like a real addiction, and I believe Allie has come out. I don't know if she's actually come out and said it, but it's been reported when he passed away that she was telling authorities that he does have a drug problem and addiction problems, and they've been trying to work through it. But it just goes to show, like, those addiction demons, they grab you and they grab hold. Like, addiction is nasty. And just to think that he wasn't even successful for that long. Like, he didn't really get to enjoy like what he could have. Like, I mean, he came onto the scene really when like he became, like, I think more of a household name. It was in probably like 2018, and then he got to enjoy some success and the fruits of his labor. And there was a lot of labor, because essentially this man would record 6 songs a day, every single day, at least. Like, that's a grind. Like, he loved the studio, he loved recording music. I do believe it is what he was meant to do. It's just sad that we didn't get to see what he could have become.
Yeah, I feel that way about a lot of artists, to be honest.
Yeah. And that gets into like the broader topic of this is I was talking about Juice WRLD because, like, honestly, like, I love him so much. Like, I love him and his music, and just knowing how he passed is just like, it's sad, and I'm still trying to like cope with it myself, and it just comes back to the bigger question: is why are rappers, this generation of rappers, dying so young? It's so tragic. I mean, I don't like it at all. It's very disheartening. It makes me like question what is going on in the world. That why is this happening? I mean, just some of the big names: Mac Miller, Lil Peep, both from drugs. X, which was an assassination. Now you got Juice WRLD. I mean, just like, who's next at this point? That's what I don't like. Like, I feel like every year now I should expect a great artist to pass away.
Yeah, and X and Mac, they both died the same year.
I know, 2 in 1 year, and it was only a few months apart.
Yeah, man, I always regret like not giving Mac a chance before he died.
I know, I loved him a lot in high school, and then I kind of fell out of him for a little bit and started listening to like, you know, more trap shit. I do like trap rap, but yeah, that was basically it. But I just wish I did give him more of a chance too, to be honest.
Yeah, like I really do love his music now,
Mm-hmm,
and I really
do
love like his story as a person. But you know, there's always going to be demons that people in our generation have, and when we see someone from our generation succeeding, like we just ignore, you know, the demons that we are all facing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, having normal everyday people becoming famous easier and easier, finding the things that you feel like you really do enjoy doing and putting, you know, your time and effort into that, like music and rap.
Right.
Like seeing those everyday people just succeeding and doing what all of us like always fantasize doing.
Exactly.
You know, like coming from absolutely nothing, like coming from, you know, the worst roll of the dice
life could give you, basically.
Yeah. And then, you know, getting famous from something that you love doing, that you really enjoy doing, other people are starting to enjoy having you do it, and like you just rise up, but those demons that follow you, they're still there, like drug addictions, like the gang shit that you have going on, like other gangs trying to take a hit out on you, because even though you're famous, you're not going to be safe.
No one's bulletproof. I mean, you can wear a bulletproof vest, but like everyone's human. Like everyone can be, you know, taken out. Like no one's invincible, and everyone's mortal. Everyone has to realize their own mortality. But like the people that we put on these pedestals, sometimes we just feel like
they're invincible.
They're invincible, exactly. And I think like, they also think that as well. Yeah,
like we look up to them, we idolize them as like a perfect human.
Like that's what they are, what everyone wants to be. Exactly. Like everyone's fantasized it being a famous rapper, famous singer, famous whatever, and they get to live that life.
And we get to live vicariously
through them. Mm-hmm. Exactly. But I think it also comes back to, I think another question that has to be asked is, when it comes to like why are rappers dying so young, and I also want to include, basically bring up that I think it's also a product, we're just a product of like our surroundings, our, the way we grew up, our like family dynamics, because I mean, if you just like take a look at like the descriptions of, you know, the generations that there are, like Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, millennials, baby boomers, all that stuff, they each have like their distinctive attributes. And I just think the generation that, you know, the generations before us did not leave us with a lot of great things. I mean, it could definitely be better. But I think sometimes we're just a product of, like, our predecessors. And sometimes it leads to bad things. But anyways, the last thing I did want to say about the Juice WRLD situation was he was recently featured on the latest Eminem album.
Oh no.
So listen, okay. I'm just going to be upfront and title this part of the segment Eminem Exploited Juice WRLD. Plain and simple. So I really have not liked Eminem's music for a long time now. Now, let me rephrase that. I've liked his music, but just not the same way I used to. It's not the same feeling I used to get. I used to enjoy it a lot more than I do now. I still enjoy it, but it's not like blonde hair Slim Shady Eminem, or it's not like how I enjoyed even him on Recovery. I loved Recovery. That was a great album. Or Relapse. But then he made the Revival album, and that was garbage. And then he made Kamikaze, which was fire. I liked Kamikaze. That was like more... It was better than Revival, so I was like, okay, it's whatever. But on his most recent album, Music to Be Murdered By, there's a feature on there, and it's a Juice WRLD feature on the song Godzilla. Now, I've listened to the song a couple of times. I think it's a pretty good song. I think he really just does the hook for that song, I believe. I don't think he has like a verse. I could be wrong, but I think he's just kind of in on the hook. But obviously when it came out, I listened to it, because anything with Juice WRLD, if you don't know this about me, if it has Juice WRLD in it, I'm going to listen to it. Even if he's with was BTS classified as, are they a J-pop? K-pop. They're a K-pop band, and Juice WRLD was on that. I listened to that, and it's one of my favorite songs. Like, it's fire. Listen to it.
I'm really happy that you did enjoy K-pop, though, because now
yeah.
you really listen to it, and you're like, oh, this is a banger, and I'm like...
Yeah, K-pop's lit.
Yeah.
Yeah, K-pop's big lit. Bro, I'd be in... I was just talking with my mom, because we were coming back from my birthday dinner. I'm recording this the day before my birthday, so we went out to lunch, and we ate and talked for about 3 hours. I love my mom. But we were just in there, and I jam out to even the music in like China Buffet. Like, they be putting some like, it's all like Chinese music, or like I guess Oriental type music, or whatever you classify it as. But like, it is fire. Like, it's really good music, and they be singing, bro. They got bangers over there. But yeah, I love K-pop. I love BTS and Juice WRLD. They're a great combo. But I just think that Eminem exploited Juice WRLD on his album because, like, okay, when you're Juice WRLD and you're growing up, you're probably idolizing Eminem, and it's probably Juice WRLD's dream to be on an Eminem song, make a song with Eminem, or just work with him in any capacity, obviously. But to me, it just comes off as Eminem, using the popularity that Juice WRLD has and the clout that he's garnering and kind of just the relevancy that he has. And he's just kind of like taking it for his own and saying, oh, like, I have like this young, hip, badass rapper like Treasure on my track. Like, you need to listen to it. I don't know. It just came off as him kind of exploiting my boy, and
a rap token.
Yeah, almost a rap token. That's probably a better word, token. I just didn't like how it came off. Like, it didn't come off as genuine because I had never really seen Eminem acknowledge Juice WRLD, before he passed away. and then after he passes away, he's just suddenly featured on your album. Like, would he still have been on there if he was still alive? Or are you just, like, using... Because I've never seen any documented stuff of them, like, you know...
Yeah.
It's like hanging out or whatever. So, it just came off that way, but... Yeah. I just miss Juice WRLD. That's how I'll end this podcast. Listen to Juice WRLD, guys. He's great. But that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. But make sure you come back for next week's show, because I think we're gonna be talking about some pretty hot topics, some pretty controversial stuff, you know.
Some pretty dark internet stuff.
Yeah, like dark side of the web stuff. Little internet underground stuff, if you like that. Should we like tease them with some of the topics?
Yeah.
All right, let's give you a little teasers here. So I think we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics to talk about. Like, I can talk about this topic like day and night with anybody.
Trust
every
me,
day, every day, all day. The topic of incels. My dream, I promise you, this is like my dream. Okay, listen.
I know you talk about it all the time.
I want to interview an incel live on the podcast. I would have such a great time with that. I would love that. I need it. So, just throw it out an open invitation if someone wants to come on, so I can interview you. But we'll be talking about incels because I love the topic. I mean, you love incels as well, right?
I love when they're not in my inbox.
Okay. Fair enough. You're a female. And I think we also are going to touch on the coronavirus. Ooh.
And how the media is blowing it out of proportion.
Yeah, or are they? Dun dun dun. And then maybe, and this is just one I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about maybe Project Bluebeam, maybe, or hear me out, the China social rating thing. Black Mirror, I know. So I'm thinking about maybe doing that or Project Bluebeam, which is like the hologram thing, which we've discussed before, because we're in the loop.
Because we're nerds.
Yeah, we're
just
nerds.
Just let them know.
We're nerds. So thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far. And please make sure you go like the Facebook page over at facebook.com/Dark Lord Ines, and that'll take you to the Dark Lord of Memes podcast page. Throw me a like if you enjoyed. Is there any last words you'd like to say to our loyal subjects?
Thank you guys so much for the support.
That was so sweet and wholesome. All right, and that is a wrap.